Hello, everybody. This is Bob Bentz from 84444.com, 84444.ca in Canada, and ATS Mobile. And welcome to Texting Tuesday. We do this once a quarter to update you on all the latest and greatest information about text message marketing. And we'll be back again in the third quarter of the year. You can also go onto our website at atsmobile.com or 84444.com. Click on the Mobile Marketing Knowledge College, and you'll see lots of different webinars there, some geared to particular vertical markets and others to particular products, all the latest and greatest of what's happening in the world of mobile marketing. A little bit about me. That's my picture there, suitable for framing or wrapping fish. You can scan the custom QR code there and link in with me, or you can text Bob to 84444, and you'll get my contact information back on your mobile phone. A little bit about ATS Mobile, formerly Advanced Telecom Services. We've been in business as of July 15th. We'll have been in business for 25 years. Our silver anniversary coming up. And we have offices in Philadelphia, Toronto, London, and Prague. So what I'm going to do today is read all the 96 slides. No, seriously, what I'll be doing is showing some various slides about text message marketing and adding some insight from someone who's been involved in the mobile marketing industry since the early days, 2002 with the ringtone business, 2006 with mobile marketing, and go over different aspects about how to make your text message marketing more effective for your clients. Of course, they always say you should start off with a joke, and I love dogs, so here's my joke for the day. What we're going to cover today is background about text messaging. If you still need some information as to why text messaging is important, some different features of it, some legal, a portfolio of some advertising that's been done in text messaging, best practices that you might want to employ, and then we're also going to go over something we did last summer, and that is we had our interns here do a research study on what people were really doing with text message marketing from our do-it-yourself sites at 84444.com and 84444.ca. We're also going to give you the top 10 text messaging tips. I have 59 different text messaging tips on our site, but we're going to go over 10 of them today and direct you to where you can find all 59. So if there ever is any aspect of mobile marketing that comes into play, it's this season when Major League Baseball has done away with the traditional dugout and bullpen phones. It's all gone mobile this year. Last year was the last season of the traditional phones, and they've been replaced by mobile phones. So you won't see Tony La Russa of the Cardinals there on his desktop, on his bullpen phone anymore, and making a mistake and not calling in for the relief pitcher as happened in the World Series a few years ago. But when it comes to text message marketing, I like to say it's the workhorse of mobile marketing. It's the most basic aspect of mobile marketing, and it's the pillar that holds up the mobile marketing building. So with mobile marketing being the larger pie, text message marketing being the simplest, but perhaps the most important aspect of mobole marketing. Of course, we're always connected today, and it isn't just teens and young adults that are connected. 91% of all U.S. citizens have their mobile device within reach. 2/3 of us sleep with them right beside our pillow next to our bed, and about 4/5 of us send and receive at least 10 text messages per month. Here's the average number of text messages that are sent and received per month by age. And you can see that the biggest growth areas in this particular group have come in the 45 to 64 age range. And if anyone's in that market and needs to keep in touch with their teenage text message marketing, text messaging is probably the only way that you're going to be able to do that. So where does your state rank in terms of text message use? Of course, if you're trying to reach blacks and Hispanics, there's no better way to do so than through their mobile phone. These ethnic groups tend to be younger, so therefore more mobile oriented, and they also tend to have a higher propensity to not have landline phones. Of course, women text a little bit more than men do. And in terms of usage of texting, you can see the amount of texts per day, even in the 65+ age groups today, outpulls the number of calls that are made via mobile phones per day. It's the single most important activity that we do on our cell phone. And now about 70% of us have smartphones. Here's a look at other things that Americans and Canadians have. The cell phone being the most common electronic device that all of us have. No surprise there. And the percentage of traffic coming from mobile sites, which tends to point out the importance of having a mobile optimized website, now over 30%. Of course, when it comes to text messaging, almost everybody does it. When you get into the younger age groups, we're nearing 100% of Americans that are texting. And it's more than just talking that we're doing on our phones today with the proliferation of smartphones. Texting is the #1 activity that we do on our mobile phones. And if I don't leave you with anything else today, I want to leave you with this, and that is that 97% of all text messages are read within 3 minutes of receipt. And you can see that gentleman there at a business meeting, and he's whipped out his phone to read the text message that came in. It's not considered rude to do that. We all multitask, and if you want to reach someone when they're most likely to buy, the best way to do it is via a text message. Of course, they're going to get opened to a much greater extent than email. One of the great things about text message marketing is, at least at this point, we haven't been inundated with a lot of spam on our text like we have when it comes to email. Of course, when it comes to click-through rates, you can see the difference between using an embedded link on a text message versus a link on an email. Dramatically greater click-through on text messaging. And we talked a moment ago about reaching customers when they're most likely to buy. Well, when we work with Subway, they send all of their text messages just prior to the lunch hour. Why? Because people out in the field and in the office get this text message. They show the text. They get, if they buy a foot-long from Subway, they get free chips and a small drink. No other medium that you purchase can have the effectiveness of text messaging in terms of reaching people when they're most likely to buy. Okay, these are motivated buyers that are ready to buy now. Now, when it comes to the restaurant industry, one of the great things about text messaging is people rarely have plans in advance as to where they're going to eat. Now, they're more likely to have plans in advance when it comes to the most important meal of the day, and that is dinner. But you can see when it comes to breakfast or lunch, it's basically an impulse buy. So if I get that text message from Subway at 11:30, just when I'm starting to get hungry for lunch, I'm much more likely to go to a Subway to purchase my lunch. And one of the other great things is the viral effect of text messaging. It's so easy to grab a text message and forward it to a friend. So if I know that you like to eat at Subway, I'm simply going to take that mobile coupon that I received and forward it on to you. That means more business for you and more business for your customer that they don't have to pay for the advertising. And the study that we did with Subway, all the phone numbers were recorded of people that were reached via the text message. And Subway found that 20% of all of the responses to the text message mobile coupon never actually received the text message. They were forwarded from somebody else. This is bonus business and bonus advertising that you receive without any cost. Of course, what you can do is add a unique PIN number. When we work with our Domino's customer, that's exactly what they do. They put in a 6-digit alphanumeric PIN, and that alphanumeric PIN is used so that Domino's can track the effectiveness of the text message advertising. Of course, when it comes to advertising today, nobody's interested in branding anymore, it seems like, or at least to a lesser degree than in the past. You want direct results, immediate results that are all trackable, and text message marketing does that for you. So before we get into text message marketing 101, I want to give a little shout out to a few people in our attendance today. We had 91 signed up to attend today, and I'd like to just give a shout out to Deb from Irving, Texas, Joe from Richmond, Kelly from Middletown, PA, from the state of Pennsylvania, Phil from Minneapolis, and Molly from Calhoun, Georgia. Also, there's Sean from Schaumburg, Illinois. So thank you guys for attending today, much appreciated. Okay, text message marketing 101. What you have is an advertisement that asks people to reply to an interactive text message. They do so there through that interactive text, and they get the mobile coupon back via text. Now, what you want to do is opt them into your list at that time. All that information goes into your database, and now you can broadcast text message in the future to that database. And what this means for you is success to your nightclub, to your restaurant, or to your retail store. The great thing about text message marketing, and it's the thing that people probably get most concerned about, is it's opt-in advertising. We get a lot of callers here at the office that say, yeah, I have a pizza shop in Chicago, and I want to send a text message to everybody in the Chicago area. Tell them how great my pizza is. Well, it doesn't work that way. That's spam, and there's some pretty serious and hefty fines involved if you're caught doing that. So the beauty of text message marketing is people have said, I want to receive your advertisements. And not too many mediums can make that claim. Your customers want to receive your messages, and that's why they're so darn effective. Okay, so the legal aspects of text message marketing have changed. They changed in the fourth quarter of 2013. They're now a bit stricter. Okay, it used to be that if you had an existing business relationship with this consumer, you could send them text messages. So if you were a tire store, for instance, and you had a list of mobile phones that had those customers had purchased from you in the past, you would be able to send them a text message so long as you gave them the opportunity to opt out by replying with stop. That's no longer the case. You now must have a specific opt-in, whether that's via a website, via a paper, or via an interactive text message. You have to have a means to show that that person has definitely opted in to your database. And don't think that you can go out and buy a database or use the database of the Jiffy Lube down the street. You can't do that. When a person opts in, they have only opted into your particular product and to receive messages from you. There's a variety of ways that you can get a legitimate opt-in, and they're listed here on this slide. Some best practices that you'll want to include in your advertising, and that is you should mention the frequency of the messages that people are going to receive. I know I just signed up yesterday for an interactive text messaging program from Dick's Sporting Goods. It's going to send me a text message every day through Father's Day of the special that's at Dick's. Advertising guidelines always include message and data rates may apply. You have to give the person an opportunity to reply with stop and be automatically taken out of the database. And of course, if you use the do-it-yourself tool that we have at 84444.com or 84444.ca, that system will do that for you. And you have to have text help for help if you need more information, and that the terms and conditions do apply, and they should be kept at some place on your company website. So the type of opt-in requirements and advertising requirements vary by medium, and those are listed on this slide. And it's also recommended that once per month, you send a message out to your database to remind them how to opt out if they decide that they want to. Here's an example of a legitimate and verifiable opt-in that's included all of the legal requirements that are required on a particular text message. And of course, don't feel you have to write all this down. We're going to make these slides available to you in a follow-up email. They'll also be on slideshare.net, and this recording will be placed on YouTube. Of course, when it comes to the new TCPA regulations that went into effect on October 16, 2013, I must always say that I'm not a qualified attorney, so you should consult your own attorney when it comes to information about the legalities of text message marketing. So what's changed? The most important thing I mentioned earlier is the established business relationship is eliminated, and you have to have prior express written consent for all text messages that are sent. That consent must be unambiguous and have a clear and conspicuous disclosure. You should keep these records for 4 years after you have opted the person in. And you can see there's some pretty hefty fines there in terms of sending unsolicited text messaging. But again, reminder, that's why this medium is so darn effective. Here's an example of a Subway promotion. We use a lot of examples from our Subway customer, and you can see here this was a sign that was hanging in the subways. You can, if you've been to Subway, you know there's usually a few people in front of you in line. What a better place than to hang a poster for people to opt into their database. Some examples of other advertising that has been done. And when it comes to the opt-in, the most important thing to do is to give someone some value. They know that you're going to be marketing to them in the future, so you better give them some value so that they're ready to opt in. Offering immediate gratification is a great way to get them to do it. Here's a local pizza restaurant that we work with who has a sign right at the cash register. And you might say, well, why would I want to give them 10% off? They're already there. They're already willing to pay full price. Well, the reason why is that the value of giving them that 10% off, the value, the long-term value of sending them text messages in the future will far exceed the 10% discount. Of course, we like to always include a custom QR code, not an ordinary black and white QR code, but a custom QR code, because our research has shown that 2.3 times more consumers will scan a custom QR code than an ordinary black and white QR code. Now, in this case, we used a QR code in the advertisement and also included the text element because, of course, those 30% of Americans that do not have smartphones would not be able to scan the QR code, or those people who have never scanned a QR code before. So we like to give them both options. In this case, a Staples promotion, a back-to-school sweepstakes. When it comes to sweepstakes, that's the single best way to get people to opt into your database. Radio station that we worked with in Detroit, they didn't just give tickets to see Big and Rich, they gave backstage passes. Well, that's going to get a lot more people interested and involved in your promotion. And what you end up with, no matter whether you're a radio station, a restaurant, a nightclub, a bar, is a very valuable database indeed. Where should you promote it? We should promote it everywhere. Everywhere you can possibly think of. On your mobile website, on your print advertisements, on your literature, any place that you can think to promote it is where you should be promoting your text message marketing, because getting people to opt in is so valuable. You can see the truck, the Florida Career College, the pizza box, just all sorts of cool places, the menus, on apps, on billboards. And here's one of my favorites that we did with the state of Wyoming tourism. And you can see if you texted ski to 84444, you got information back about skiing at Jackson Hole, and what a cool place to be promoting this. When it comes to QR codes, we always recommend to also include a text message promotion and some text tips. Don't overdo the abbreviations. Use all 160 characters, abbreviate when necessary. Use embedded links, and we like to use bit.ly links whenever possible. With a bit.ly link, the consumer that has a smartphone can simply touch the link on their phone, and they will go out on the web and go to your information on the website. You can also press a call button, so you can embed a phone number and call directly to your office to place an order. Of course, what do consumers do when they receive a text? Well, they go to your website more than anything else, or visit your store. That's exactly what you want them to do. Now we're going to talk about the text message marketing study that we did last summer. The interns took a look at a lot of data from a myriad of customers that we have using our text message marketing tools, and came up with the following stats. This was done by our paid interns. They studied 11 different short codes that we have at the company. They received college credit, and we pay them too. Okay, so you can see here the percentage of our customers that are using the text messaging tools, and then the percentage of the messages. So you can see that, for instance, restaurants are a very popular category, as you would expect. Probably one of the best verticals for mobile marketing are restaurants. Automotive, a lot of automotive customers. That's been a niche of ours. In fact, we sold our automotive division last October to the publicly traded Auto-Vital. But you can see, interestingly, a high-ticket item like Auto-Vital makes up 13% of our customers, but only 1% of our messages. As you would expect, people not in the auto buying mode more than once every 4 or 5 years. So it would make sense that they don't get a lot of messages, but of course those are very valuable messages indeed. Media, we have a lot of radio stations that we work with, and they do a lot of text messaging, often giving away sweepstakes, as the Big and Rich example that we talked about a moment ago. And then you can go down to some other interesting categories that use it, everything from government, financial, churches use it a lot for their youth groups, entertainment and sports. Really anybody in business, whether it's B2B or B2C, can be using text message marketing. Of course, we polled our customers, and of course 100% of them were engaged with text message marketing because that was the source of our database. And we asked them what else they did in terms of mobile marketing. Most of them had a desktop website, but only about 2/3 of them were involved in social media, and even less had a mobile version of their website. What are they doing? Well, we talked a moment ago about marketing, text message marketing 101, and how it all starts with an interactive text message. Okay, that's texting a keyword to a short code and receiving a message back, and usually that's the source of the initial opt-in from the consumer. And then you can reach out and touch those consumers in the future with your broadcast text messages. So about 82% of our customers are using both interactive and broadcast. Some are only using interactive, and some are only using broadcast only. What are they doing? Well, for the most part, they're giving away consumer information. That makes up 42% of our from applications and 20% of our messages. Reminders and alerts You can see next, and then mobile coupons. I always urge everybody not to, even if you're a restaurant or a retailer, don't make everything a mobile coupon. There's other messages that you can send out in addition to mobile coupons. If so, people might end up waiting for your discounts. But you can see there that overwhelmingly, a low percentage of our applications were sweepstakes, but you can see that sweepstakes, everyone wants to try and win something for free. So you can see the percentage of messages very high in sweepstakes compared to the number of applications. So I'm going to give you now my top 10 text message tips. My hero there on the screen now. And if you go to that URL that's down in the lower right, you're going to be able to find 59 of those top text message tips, but we only have time to go over 10 of them here, so you guys can get back to work. One of the cool things you can do is encourage recipients to forward to a friend. We know that Subway did 21% of their business from phone numbers that didn't even use the text messaging tool. So you can see how powerful the viral aspect of text message marketing is. Well, it becomes even compounded if you say in the message, forward to a friend, to remind them to do that. You should capitalize the most important words. When it comes to interactivity via an interactive text message program, capitals or use of lowercase is irrelevant to the opt-in process, what the consumer sends the keyword to the shortcode. However, on the response back, we can capitalize the most important words. So things like redeeming today, making immediate action part of what the consumer should do. This, of course, I subscribe to everything that I come across when it comes to interactive text, so my phone would drive most of it crazy because it's receiving text all day. But identify your company. You would be surprised how many text messages I receive from businesses who don't say what the business is. I could have forgotten what the business is that's sending a message. They'll send me messages about a great sale that might be going on, a mobile coupon, but they don't tell me what the business is. Crazy. One of the cool things we've done on some of our concierge accounts is we've said to the consumers on the text message is they'll get another entry into the sweepstakes if they like us on Facebook. Of course, everyone's wanting to increase their amount of likes on Facebook, their followers on Twitter. Show that you've done that, and we'll give you an additional entry into our sweepstakes. Here's one of my favorites. Send text right after the game ends. So if you're in the local market and you know that the ball game just ended or the hockey game just ended or the theater just let out, send a message and invite those people to your club, to your bar, to your restaurant. While they're walking out to the car, they get a text message. That's just as powerful as when people are ready to buy. I mean, most likely ready to buy when they're walking out of the ball game. The night's still young. There's someplace for them to go. They get your text. They show up. If you look at my business card, you'll see that I have added an interactive element to my business card by texting Bob to 884444. Again, it's a way that people can get my information back on their mobile phone. Use a short keyword and use one that's easy to spell. Don't use a two-word keyword. We had a customer use the term Hawaii one time as their keyword, and they used it on radio. You'd be surprised how many people have difficulty spelling a word like Hawaii. Use a short keyword. A lot of times your smartphone will autocorrect and you don't know it, and that'll mess up the opt-in process. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to opt in, and never ever use a two-word keyword because people don't know if they should put the space in the middle or join the words together. Always have some immediate action requirements in your text message. Something like first 10, limited quantity. Make people come in right away. And one of the other cool things that you can do is just like the studies show with email, if you put the person's name at the beginning of the text, it's personalized and they're more likely to respond to it. We've seen this over and over. And again, our online tool can do this for you. One of the other things that I like to recommend, one of my favorites, is to send your business-to-business text at 3 minutes before the hour. Why? It's when busy business people are getting ready for their next meeting. So if the meeting's at 2 p.m., send your broadcast text messages at 1:57 when those people can be scanning their mobile phones and have time to respond to it. So again, you can see all of my text messaging tips here at that URL in the lower right. Mobile marketing. Here's some cool custom QR codes that we've done. If you're using QR codes, they should be custom QR codes. You'll more than double the scan rate if you use custom QR codes. And to wrap up today, every time that you take out a free trial account on our site, we do donate money to the Darlington, South Carolina Humane Society. And these guys here are looking for your money. That's me. I thank you all for attending today. It's much appreciated. And please check out atsmobile.com for our Mobile Marketing Knowledge College. You will be receiving emails for other upcoming events in the future. Thank you very much for attending, and have a great day.